In this video, I'm basically going to talk about my work inspired by Paris Through the Window. So the materials I used to make this work is pencils, colorful pens, well for the mountains at least, and color pencils and highlighters, which is kind of, I know, weird, and also other kinds of coloring tools. I also use permanent marker for the thicker outlines. So the first step is using the pencils to outline the things you want to draw, like the scene and the window and the indoor part of the painting. And then the second step is use whatever coloring tools to color the outlines. And then the third step I did was use permanent marker to retrace the outlines I first drew with pencils. And then boom, you're done. So the style it's the way I paint is the first thing I tried is use lines, well, with the pens, the green pens and other kinds of color pens. It turns out that the color is a little bit too loud and it's very time consuming, so I decided to use color pencils afterward, but for some little parts I still use lines. So another teeny tiny bit of style is I try to use Chagall style. For example, like the natural colors, the free way of using colors. For example, for the face of the let's say girls, I use pink and purple, which is super not real in the world. So I guess it's kind of Chagall style because it's free of using colors, and that's what makes painting this really fun. Another style I use is Orphic Cubism, which is someone called Orphism. So Orphic Cubism is actually a style that artists paint only with color planes, not much of a line, and of course it's all about the colors. A little bit like Fauvism, but Fauvism has objects in it, and Orphic Cubism does not really have a really certain kinds of objects, well, except for Robert Delaunay's Eiffel Tower, but most of it is just circles or squares and other things. And then it's very free for the coloring because you can use whatever color you mix and then paint it with it. And of course it's some of them is abstract because it's only about shapes and the colors. And one of the artists is that paints Orphic Cubism is Robert Delaunay, and one of his most seen objects in his paintings is the Eiffel Tower. And to him, and Chagall too, Eiffel Tower represents modernity itself, and it also represents Paris too. He actually inspired Chagall to actually use a tiny bit of Orphic Cubism in his Paris Through the Window painting. So here are some examples for Orphic Cubism artworks. For the Eiffel Tower part, that one's Robert Delaunay's work. Yeah, just so you know, it's really symbolic. For the color part I used in my work is actually it has a sense of contrast. For the foreground and middle ground, it has really loud and strong, bright, vivid colors. But for the background, the colors are a little bit less saturated, a little bit muted, so that you can see that it's further away from us. And the vivid color ones, especially the middle ground, it's really strong because it can give us a sense that it's closer to us. So the setting of the painting, or the work, is actually different from peers through the window, because like the indoor part is like my study room. I have all this kind of small objects that I put in front of me, which I have no idea why, and I also paint a chair, which is definitely different from Paris through the window chair. Yeah, and for the outdoor part, it's like I'm in my study room, and then I look out into the place I live, well, Taichung, and I think it's not really Taichung-like, but well, I actually think it's kind of cool to draw something that I've seen, or like that's well near me. So I think I have a lot of fun painting this. And the difference between the two works are that for the cat, I don't know how to draw the cat, so I draw a rabbit instead, and it turns out like it's smiling. For the two-faced girl, the colors is definitely different, but I try to use the same color for the clothes. So the colors for the two paintings are like really different. I think mine looks a little bit more colorful. The colors are a little bit brighter, but Chagall's has like a sense of fogginess for the painting. And of course, Chagall's painting is like way more detailed than mine. The setting's different, and a lot of things are different. For example, the window, mine's actually kind of half transparent, and I think it's kind of cool. Well, it happened, unplanned, and I was like, oh, I should paint the windows after I finished the whole thing. And then when I painted it on, I was like, wow, it's half transparent, even though it's not really realistic, but I think it's with the half transparent window, it's really cool. Yeah, and I really like doing this artwork. Maybe this is not really the best one I've ever done, but I still have a lot of fun doing this, and I think it's really cool to do something different from my original kind of style, because well, it's good to try new things. Thanks for watching.